Hey y'all, it's Jordan from Jordan Budgets. Today we are cash stuffing $470. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for being here. And if you're new, hi, hello, and welcome. My name is Jordan. I am a cash budgeter here on YouTube. I also have my own cash budget shop. I love sharing cash stuffing and budgeting tips and tricks, and I would love for you to hit the subscribe button and join us for our weekly cash stuffings so we can budget, save, and reach our financial goals together. Let's go ahead and count this cash and get into today's cash stuffing. 50, 150, 200, 250, 70, 90, 310, 330, 350, 370, 380, 90, 400, 410, 20, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 2, 3, 4, 5, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. $470 to cash stuff today. I do have this little cash breakdown. This is a freebie. If you ordered physical items from me this month, you get a cash breakdown as well as a little A7 tracker. I'm gonna put that to the side. If you hear my voice break often, I am sorry. I am sick, but it has been okay. It's just been like a little cold, I think. How are you guys doing? How is the start of your week going? I am filming this on Tuesday morning. Y'all, this night person that I typically am, the night owl that I typically am, has converted into a morning owl. Is that a thing? I don't know. A morning bird, a morning early bird gets the worm. I guess a morning bird. I have no idea. Is there an expression for morning people? Somebody let me know in the comments. I have consistently, even through sickness, been getting up at 4 or 5 in the morning, getting work stuff. I say done. Is it ever done? No. But getting to work and getting on good routines now that I'm in my own work studio and like work building. I'm on the property, nobody panic, like literally a step away from my house in like a she shed kind of situation. Point is, I can come out here and work and be loud and I'm not waking up the boys, even though I'm still like right here if they need me and they could easily get me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's safe, but I have my own space. So I've been coming out here at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, and it feels so nice to have some like dedicated time to work. And I feel like I'm actually accomplishing things. So it's been good over here. I want to talk about this cash stuffing and we're gonna chit chat some, but I do have an office vlog coming soon. So we're gonna get to chat more on that. Let's try to stick to the budget as much as we can. However, you guys know we're gonna segue into life conversations as well. But let's go ahead and get this situated before we chat more. Now, if you saw me last week, you know that I said I was just gonna focus on a couple of binders, one being putting a little bit of money into this 52-week savings, like vacation binder. Everything you see in my videos is from my own shop. If you're interested, links are below. But just putting a little bit here, not making it a high priority, and mostly focusing on this 1 month ahead, where I did take out a lot of categories. This is not the full 1 month ahead binder. It's just a few of the categories from the 1 month ahead binder, but keeping this one the main priority. And then, sorry if I'm not quite in shot. I'm gonna work on it. I'm playing with camera angles and camera spots where I'm filming here in the office. So let me know what you guys think of layouts as I'm like changing them every single week. I usually am a bit more consistent, but because I have so many office spaces, like I have so many options in the office, I'm trying out a lot of new things. I originally said that we were just gonna focus on Black Friday and Christmas, but I think we're gonna bring back or put together this full binder in just a second. Right now, it just has all the cards in it from, like if you bought the binder, I think we're gonna take out some of the categories, but we're gonna put just one roll per card, starting with what's coming up like soonest. It's the start of February. No, it's not. It's the start of November when I'm filming this. So like, for example, we'll start with this Thanksgiving. We'll roll once. Whatever we roll is what it gets. So if Thanksgiving just gets $1, that's fine, but we will kind of scatter, you know, stuff a few different cards. But we're gonna reshuffle this towards the end of the video because I don't wanna lose you guys. That's gonna take a little bit of time. We're also bringing back the debt payoff binder. I tried to take this away. We will chat about it as we get to it, but we are going to make debt a priority in cash stuffings instead of just pulling the money and putting it in the bank. Again, we will talk about it in just a minute. Let's start with, before we start taking these apart, because this is gonna get a lot more chatty and a lot more like taking binders apart and talking about these things, let's just stuff the easy things, which is 1 month ahead, because I know money needs to go into this. I was originally just keeping this truly for 1 month ahead, but I think what I'm gonna do, because it's stressing me out to not have money towards the mortgage for this coming month, I've been trying to just save it in the bank. And I'm a cash stuffer for a reason, y'all. Like, cash stuffing works for me. Trying to save money in the bank just does not, and it stresses me out. So I don't know why I keep trying to change the routine and become like a part-time cash stuffer and a part-time and like keep some of it in the bank. I'm trying to like evolve in some way, but it's not working for me. Like, I know cash works for me, so I want to get back to what I know works and what brings me the least amount of stress, which is cash stuffing as much of my money as I can. So we already had $60 in mortgage. This again is something that will likely get pulled. Mortgage and bills will get pulled, and the rest of it might kind of roll over. We'll see how I handle it at the end of the month, but let's put, we only have 470. We don't have like a full what I need to really stuff all of this super well, but we'll go ahead and put 100 just to kind of get us somewhere. Now, luckily I do get a YouTube check in addition to my Etsy check once per month. So like towards the end of the month, I kind of get paid from 2 different places. I do. I get paid from 2 different places. That's usually when I put a lot of money towards my mortgage and bills. I kind of catch up on anything that I've missed. So anyway, right now we just added 100. We have 50, 100, 20, 40, 60. We have 160, which is not near enough, but it is the start of November, so something is better than nothing. And it's just currently where we're at. I'm gonna zoom you guys in or move you guys in a little bit. Let me know if that shot is better or if it was better further away. Look, kind of prop us like that. How is that? Let me know in the comments, please. And then bills, I pay about $200 towards bills at the house, and then the car note for me is $405. I think those bills are gonna go up in the winter because I do pay heating and air and electric and everything for now the house and the shop here, and I'm kind of just lumping all those bills together. To move this along, let's just put $100 towards house and car notes, which total about $605. 50, 100, 20, 30, 40, $140 now towards bills. It is currently 6 a.m. I know I told you guys I'm like on the early train. It has been going really, really well. However, I stayed up last night and watched the Chiefs game, and that was a mistake because it's 6 a.m. and I'm like, oh, I think it's gonna be a long day. So I'm still learning sort of how to handle my schedule and to give myself time. You know what I mean? With like, I have to go to bed by like 8 or 9 or it's gonna mess me up the next day. I'm definitely learning. But it feels really nice to be able to get in the office and get a dedicated like 4 to 5 hours in the morning before the boys are awake. And I feel like I'm accomplishing so much more. I feel really good because I'm prioritizing the Etsy shop and prioritizing like making some new products. Okay, debt, before we keep chatting, let's put, even though we're bringing the debt binder back, this is just a little bit extra. Let's just put 1, 2, 3, and we're gonna talk about my debt more as we stuff that. I was going to use washi tape, but for the sake of time, and there's no, if you're watching this and you haven't seen me do this before, I was just using washi tape for fun and just to kind of show you guys that if you really wanted it to be reusable, it's pretty much everything I make is on a 110, excuse me, sorry, I had to go away for a while for a coughing fit. Pretty much everything I make is on 110 cardstock, but it's not laminated. You could laminate it yourself to make it reusable, but there are a lot of challenges that you could just use washi tape and then peel it off and start again. I was going to keep using washi tape for consistency because I enjoy consistency. However, I think for the sake of time, we'll just go ahead and color this in because I do have some like binder rearranging to do with the debt and holiday savings, and that's going to take a hot minute. So for debt, let's just add $3. We now have 50, 60, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, $65 as an extra debt payment. It would be nice if we could get one of these in per month, I think is my current goal. I don't know what I was saying. I think my main point was just to say that it's been nice being able to prioritize the shop, get things done. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, you guys have not seen me a lot these last couple weeks as I've been getting on a better routine, but it's just because I've been trying to create a schedule where like Tuesday and Thursday is film days because I have longer hours in the office. And then every single other day is working on orders and new products and stuff, more like behind the scenes stuff that you guys wouldn't see. So I have been doing some filming, but I haven't uploaded it because I'm trying to stay true to my schedule. So for whatever reason, I think maybe last week I got sick. I don't know. For whatever reason, last week's Tuesday and Thursday were really thrown off. So I did not end up like catching up on filming because I'm like, well, if I don't stay on schedule, then that's what I get. You know, like I'm trying to make myself stick to schedules, even if I get off one day, then those tasks just kind of fall off for that week. I'm not trying to play catch up another day because that always leaves me feeling overwhelmed. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments if you follow that train of thought. What am I stuffing here? Let's do a bigger number, I think. Ideally, with this monthly savings, we would be doing it every single day so that by the end of the month, we'd have $496. I am so not in my thriving era. Like things are going fine, but as far as like how much I'm making on Etsy and stuff, like I haven't put up any new items. And I think running that big birthday sale, a lot of people purchased stuff that they had been wanting during that sale, which was great. But I do find that whenever I run a big sale, which for me, I don't usually run sales at all because I try to keep my prices just low so that I don't have to run sales. But I did run a birthday sale about a month and a half ago and it went so well. However, like everything has been really slow since then, like in comparison to how it normally is. So I have been working on some new products. I'm hoping that will pick up the shop, like how things are going in the shop, and that would of course impact cash stuffings, but we're doing what we can and we're making it, so nobody panic. Like it's fine, everything's fine. We're gonna move on to the holiday binder. Let's do 11 and 21. No real reason for that, just I think it would be a good amount to stuff, but still give us plenty of money for holiday savings and then debt payoff. I do know that for debt payoff, I need to put 150-ish in per week. I don't really have a lot to say about vacation, so let's go ahead and start chatting about the debt payoff while we stuff 11 and 21 into the vacation binder. Vacation binder is just, you know, a wish and a dream that we are going to get to go a little more south during the winter months. If we can't, it's fine, but that's the hope. Okay, so talking about debt, y'all, I had a 100 days to financial freedom debt payoff. I think this saves $5,050. We're about to see, I've already forgotten, but I had one of those started. I was really hopeful that we would get it, we were like making good movement with it, right? Like I was really hopeful that we were gonna do great with it and that we were going to get to pay off all of my debt. I pulled all of that money thinking things looked really great. And then I had hired my tax lady to help me do taxes for 2023. Cause like the tax deadline for like, I filed an extension. Okay, here's a little, how far into this do we want to go? I filed an extension for my 2023 taxes for Jordan Budgets for like all the money I make here on YouTube and Etsy. It is my full-time income. In 2022, it was my first, am I saying these years right? Yes, math is not my strength. In 2022, my camera was basically like, wait, before you start chatting, you have no memory left. So I just erased some old videos to give us more space to chat. Okay, so gear up for a maybe 4-minute conversation about taxes and small business while I just put these cards into these so that we can stuff about $150 into this 100 days to financial freedom. Again, this is something in my Etsy shop. So, and this is what it looks like before I get too chatty and too distracted. By the end of the 100 days, you've put $5,050 towards debt. And then there is a fun little self-care, you deserve this tracker at the end. Now, let's get into my situation. So I pulled that money that we had in here. We only had maybe almost 1,000, and I think I pulled it off screen, so I don't think you guys even saw it. I was really excited just to pull it, put the money in the bank, pay off my credit card, because I'm not somebody who usually has any money sitting on the credit cards. So I had about $1,000 left from the move, maybe $1,500, and I was excited just to pull it, announce to you guys, hey, I'm debt free. Joke is on me. So I finally Oh, backstory to the small business taxes. So I did not end up owing taxes in 2022 because it's the year that I really started my business. I started in like November of 2021 or something, but 2022 was basically the start. So I got a tax write-off for, you know, all of my computers, my equipment, my camera, for all of this stuff because I bought so much stuff, like binders and stuff in 2022. Anyway, I did not end up owing in 2022. I actually got maybe $400 back, and maybe state taxes I did owe like $500, but I got a little bit of federal back, and so it just kind of was a wash. I didn't owe, I didn't really get anything. It was like the perfect setup. Well, then 2023, I got an extension on those taxes because I was so overwhelmed, because 2023 is the year I started prepping for the move. It's the year I had a renter disaster happen. It was just, 2023 was a hot mess. 2024, when I really needed to put that together, the start of this year, I moved. So got a tax extension, just did those taxes literally like right at the deadline a week or two ago. Well, as I put this money into the bank thinking, okay, I'm not going to have any more money on the credit cards. I needed to pay my tax lady who assisted me with, you know, doing my taxes, which thank goodness for her. But also, you know, like I could not figure out taxes on my own. Had to pay her. Her fee was not near as substantial as what I actually owed. So I owed money for taxes. I don't know if it was $2,000 or $3,000 at this point, because by the time I paid it, I was just like, well, what's another few thousand, you know? So I paid taxes, which are now sitting on a credit card because I did not have that money set aside. My honest thought was that I made about the same, because I did kind of pay attention to my pay, and I thought I made about the same, which is true. I made about the same in 2022 as I did in 2023. However, my expenses were not near as much, and I was not tracking that kind of stuff near as much. I was very much for 2023 in hunker down mode. I was prepping for a move. I was thinking, let's not buy a lot of stuff because then we're just going to have to move it. You know what I'm saying? These are just extra sleeves, so we're going to move them. So I owed a couple thousand, possibly a few thousand. I don't even remember at this point. I just paid it. I also had a huge website business expense, which we will talk about in another video because that's a whole traumatic thing about my website. And then, but good news there is I'm getting off of Etsy and back to my own website soon, which should save me about $1,000 in fees every month. So that would be a good move. But I did have about a $1,500 website fee, which we will talk about because I hope that you guys don't make this mistake. And anecdotal like evidence and reasoning, but I no longer recommend GoDaddy. We will talk about it. I don't want anybody to sue me though, so I don't know how far into like the thing I should go, but just know I do not recommend buying a website through GoDaddy. Okay. And then the last bit of my debt, which we'll talk about, but let's talk about this first for a second. Basically, I need to put about $150 in this every single week. And that is something I just need to do for the foreseeable future. I'm no longer, I feel like I had a small amount of debt. So I was just kind of thinking like, let's knock it all out and forget the rest of my savings challenge binders. Let's just focus on debt, get it over with so we could start the new year fresh. I am now more along the lines of just kind of realizing and accepting, can't speak, that I just need to put $150 towards debt every week, stop panicking about it, focus on some other parts of my life too. If we get it paid off early, great. If we don't get it paid off for, say, the next year, which is honestly kind of where we're at, if we pay about $150 per week, then we should have it done within a year. If we just focus on trying to stay on top of like what we are currently doing, current expenses, and pay $150 a week, that's already big enough of a stretch for me as it is. So that's kind of where we're at. Like that's what I want to focus on and do. But if we pay it within a year, like less time than a year, which could happen because I have better months than others. Sometimes I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. I think I want to do, I sort of say let's do washi tape, but let's not. Let's just color these in. If we get it done, I pulled a 50. We're going to put a 50 in there. If we get it done before a year's time, which is absolutely doable if and when I get the shop, like when things in the shop start moving a little bit better. I kind of wish I had my ruler over here. Anyway, point is, if it takes us a year, it takes us a year. If it takes us less time, then cool. But we're bringing back the savings challenges because I know this works well for me, is doing everything in cash. We're gonna stuff $150 per week. And then same idea as I had before when I introduced this binder. Once a full page is done, say we stuff all of this, then we can cash stuff, or then we can put this money in the bank and, you know, pay off a chunk of money on the cards. We don't have to wait for the whole binder to be stuffed, but a whole page needs to be stuffed to get to pay towards it. Do y'all hear my wrist pop? That's what's going on with that. Let's put, oh, okay. So I want to put 150. We just put 50. So 20, 40. Okay. I was going to do this as roll the dice, but we're not this time because we should have really set this up first, pulled whatever the dice rolled, and then we could stuff what was left into this. I kind of did it backwards, but that's okay. So for this, we will stuff 20, 40, 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. We're actually just going to go ahead and pull $22 with some smaller amounts and put it to the side, and that will leave the rest of this to go towards debt. So what was I saying? Oh, the last bit, the only other bit of debt that I wanted to talk about, or like the other reason I'm in debt, is because this office got done and then it was like, okay, like I didn't really want to be out here in the office because I had no furniture. Again, I moved from Mississippi to Iowa, so I did get rid of a lot of furniture. Let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's put $8 on this first card. That was a really like convoluted way to explain my debt. Basically, finally got rid of all the moving debt, or was like at the moment where I could be done with all the moving debt. And then I acquired taxes, debt, and the other big thing I spent on was buying furniture for the office, which you guys are gonna see soon. But I spent a lot of money on furniture for the office and kind of just getting this spot put together a little bit more. I'm kind of trying to, I think, just put one in per card, or like see how far we can go doing that. So yeah, I don't think it's literally going to take us a year to pay off debt, but I'm just kind of giving myself that timeline. Like, it's okay if we're paying off debt for the year. Plenty of people pay off debt and have debt. And when I think about it, I mean, I do also have a car note. I have debt that my brain just has never classified as debt. So when I have credit card debt, I feel like I enter panic mode. Is anybody else like that? Like, I'm just not, it's almost like I want to just say, like, forget about the rest of life and like, let's focus on debt and let's get this done. But it also doesn't feel realistic at all to do that because, I mean, my kids are 8 and 10. They're only going to be 8 and 10 once in this lifetime. So I don't want to spend the whole year, like, waste the whole year panicking on debt. Does that make sense? Okay, so for this one, let's do 20. Let's do 20. Also, oh, I know what I'm thinking, because I'm like, I don't really have that much debt. What am I talking about? But I think I'm just kind of like preemptively planning because I am gearing up to do 2024 taxes. I know I made less in 2024 than I did in past years. However, I don't know the true cost because I hadn't been tracking it super well. I don't know the true cost, like what I've been spending on the business this year, but I know I've made a lot less. But of course, your cost factored in make a big difference on how much taxes you pay. Now I know. I mean, I knew that mentally, but I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, in my brain, I'm just kind of mentally preparing that I'm about to enter more debt because we are in November of 2024 and I would like to go over taxes and with my tax lady like right away at the start of 2025. So I'm just kind of gearing up that I likely owe because I did not properly prepare for 2024 either. I'm going to have to pay her again, and I'm going to have to just put whatever I owe on credit cards. And then I did discuss with her, she said I need to start paying quarterly. Basically, I need to start, we're at the point with the business, which I know I discussed this with her previous to this, this time 2035. When I first started Etsy, I talked with her about paying quarterly because I know that's a thing. And she basically told me at that time, she was like, oh, don't worry about that. I think she had looked at my numbers and kind of knew that I wasn't really going to owe, or maybe she was just, you know, small business, single mom. Maybe she wasn't thinking too much into the future. But she told me at that time, she's like, oh, you don't have to worry about quarterly. That's more like a bigger business kind of thing. Like, don't worry about that. But when I talked to her recently, she said for 2025, she would like to start meeting with me quarterly so we can go ahead and pay in, and it's not a big thing at the end of the year, and then I wouldn't get fined for consistently like owing at the end of the year. I should really be doing quarterly, which I knew that. I had heard that from other people. 2030, I think we're gonna kind of steal from the holiday mini savings and put 35, 40, 41. We're going to put $41 here, and we'll just put a tiny bit into holiday mini savings. 20, 35, 40, 41. So last one, and then I think mini holiday savings, if you are still here with me, that binder, I think we will actually set it up and rearrange it another day because I know this video is super long and has been super chatty. So anyway, that is my debt story. I'm also just kind of preemptively planning that I'm going to owe money that I don't currently have saved for 2024. If you guys are interested in all the complete real numbers, definitely let me know. I would love to talk more business stuff because I've certainly learned a lot, but realistically, I may just keep those for kind of like the office vlogs that I'm working on getting started. I know that people are loving watching other shops do that, so I would love to get that going. And I have been doing some filming behind the scenes. I just haven't uploaded yet. So anyway, that's my story. So the first 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, wait, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have stuffed 7 days, which is perfect because that's a week's worth. So I think we'll continue trying to do that for this 100 days to debt payoff. We will just kind of stuff a day for each. And then maybe in about a month, we'll get to start pulling these cards. We will see. That's just sort of what I was like feeling today. And then, so we're going to set that aside. We can go ahead and roll the dice a couple times and see what we get, but we're not going to rearrange because like some of these I don't really celebrate or have expenses for. For example, I started to say Valentine's Day, but I do stuff for my boys on Valentine's Day, even though I'm a single mom. Easter, I guess I do most of this stuff. I don't have an anniversary, so I'll probably take that card out. But for now, let's just skip to Black Friday and Christmas because those are the big ones coming up for us. We are going to roll the dice once, maybe twice, depending on what we get, and just stuff one into each of these. See what I mean? $6 into Black Friday. So I did not really plan on having a long drawn out chat about taxes, but I hope that you guys found it informational or informative or helpful or just interesting in some way. I'm trying to think of what my numbers were. Like in Mississippi, I feel like after all of my deductions and stuff, because I feel like this is something people might really be interested in, but should I overshare? I don't know. I'm always a little bit leery, but just so you know, I'm going to go ahead and say it anyway because it's my channel and I can do what I want. In 2022, I think after all of my expenses, I made like $30,000. That's what I cleared, just like $30,000. So like $30,000 is my take home after all of my business expenses, which is nuts to me. How in the world am I surviving on so little? And then 2023, my take home after expenses was like $40,000. I'm hesitant to say those numbers. Let's see, we've rolled a 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. We're just gonna put this dollar aside for like the next cash stuffing because I think this is perfect. But just to end the rant, for me as a single mom in Mississippi, $40,000 is where I ended up owing a few thousand, and $30,000 take home was, you know, it was kind of a wash. So $30,000 for me to live off of these days is absolutely unrealistic. So I just know in the future I absolutely have to prepare to pay taxes. And I guess one reason I'm always hesitant to throw out real numbers is because just because that's the numbers for me doesn't mean that's the numbers for you. If you live in a different state, if you have a spouse also bringing home income, I mean, you would be having to pay at a different amount. You know what I'm saying? But just to ease your curious minds, if you are thinking about, like, I wonder what the numbers were, I think take home as a single mom, solo income, that was all of my income. Those are the numbers. And I suspect 2024 is going to be somewhere between those numbers because I did not make as much from Etsy and YouTube as I did in the past. This was very much a transitionary year for me in my real life, like moving and stuff. And YouTube and Etsy was just kind of like when I can, if I have the if I have the emotional and physical energy and capacity to do it, then we'll do what we can. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we're just ranting at this point. I hope that you guys have an amazing morning, an amazing week. As always, I love you, I appreciate you, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.